Sayo, welcome to this new day. So I feel compelled to share something rather spontaneously, and looks like I've got the curiosity of my pack here. I've got a crew with me. This is our three deep house that's gone to the dogs. um, I really don't know where to start with this topic subject except for just go right to the point with it. So lately I've been really just looking at the absolutes of life, of what I'm living, observing. Let me share. Allow me to share an observation with you, if you will. The physics of the reality that we're living in are in such a way that it shows us that the death many of us fear, there's no reason for it. Let me explain that. We live in a duality. We see this in almost every aspect of our lives. Male, female, light, dark, day, night, hot, cold. Magnetism is, two different poles, positive, negative. But one of the best examples of how our duality works, and for me the most explainable lately, and I've been thinking about this for some time, is the relationship between the sun and the earth. And just an observation. I'm not trying to speak of any religion or anything like that. This is just my observation of an absolute that I've seen with these two eyes. And then I've looked deeper with another eye, my third eye, my inner eye. And this is what I've concluded. Based on the duality of things, and duality, two, how does this work? Well, the duality works to create a balance by things working in opposition. And the sun and the earth are a great example of that. The sun, this beautiful, bright star in our sky, or above us, or out there in space next to us, per se, it's a ball of fire, an element, fire, the same fire as we have in our campfires. And this earth that we're on, this earth, is a ball of water, basically. And between the two of these elements, a great big ball of water floating in space and a great big ball of fire floating in space or moving in space, whatever. We're not trying to be literal here. These two things have created a balance between the two where everything's worked out okay, where between the distance we are and all those other variables that we can get really complicated with, but if we're going to be simple, between that fire rock, that fireball, and this water ball, there is a balance that's been created between the two. That if you were to take one away from the other, if you were to take the fire away from the water ball freezes, right? And if you were to take the water away from, if you take the fire away from the water ball, the water freezes. If there's too much fire, not enough water, it burns, right? So there's a balance that these two things create. That's the duality. But the interesting thing about these two things is they work to oppose each other, right? Because they are opposing, hot fire, cool water, in between creates this green zone that we live in, called life. And so they oppose to create a balance, and that balance allows life to live in that green zone, in the balance between the two. Now what that suggests to me, and hopefully to you, is that those two are equal. The fire and the water are equal. And it suggests, on a little deeper, more complicated level, that all things in this duality are created in that way, where they are created to oppose, because that's necessary to maintain balance, as well, in that balance that they create, they are supporting something. So they're also working together, opposing and working together, the duality we live. So now if you take that concept and you apply it to this thing we fear most, our mortality, our death, why do we fear it? Based on what we are living and existing in here, this duality, that implies that my death is equal to this life that I am living right now. So why are we afraid? And why do we allow ourselves to be manipulated because of that fear? Live right now until the day that you don't. Embrace life, and embrace death as equal to life. There's nothing to fear. It's much easier to be right here, right now, when we're not operating in here with fear. I hope this resonates for you, as it does for me. May you all have a wonderful day.